welcome to the Ty Show for May 21st. Today we're going to recap the episode of Holey Moley last night, so if you have not watched that, I would skip this episode. I'll talk about the sporting news first so you guys can get in, give you some spoiler warning before we get into that episode. But it was very entertaining. I enjoyed it. Gave me something to watch for an hour. We're and I'll definitely watch the rest of the episodes this year. It was very, very entertaining. Let's jump straight into the sporting news for today, though. The main thing we heard today was that Dak Prescott was offered a 5-year, $175 million contract with the Dallas Cowboys, which would have made him the highest paid quarterback in the league. And he declined it. But it's not for money, because that's $35 million a year. He wanted 4 years instead of 5 years. And he said, if you're going to give me that fifth year, I want it at $45 million a year, not 35. And so he wants basically $37 million a year. I think that they're gonna get a deal done because they're so close now. It just depends on how long it will be, 4 years or 5 years. But it's definitely paid Dak Prescott a lot of money. You could say that he's worth it. You could also say that he's not worth it. It really depends on who you talk to. I preferably would pay him, but I also think it's an overpay. I would do it though as you're the Cowboys because he's your best option right now. He's a young quarterback. He's done really good at Dallas, and he has the weapons to build around. But are you committed to Dak Prescott? Are you absolutely for sure he's the future of your team? That's what Jerry Jones has to decide here. Is it worth it to let Andy Dalton play this year and then go and get somebody else next year? Or is Dak Prescott worth being the highest paid QB in the league? It's a decision Jerry Jones will have to make. We'll see what he has to do. About, 2, 3 weeks ago, we talked about Jabal Bieniemy, the OU point guard, leaving and transferring out of OU. He has decided to transfer to UTEP, University of Texas El Paso. The Miners, I believe, is who they are. Uh, kind of a surprising choice again that he's leaving, but I could see why. I mean, he wasn't a great player at OU, but he was our starting point guard. But now he'll be a complete star down at UTEP. He'll be their best player, so he gets the ball and he gets the touches he wants, and he doesn't have to be afraid to shoot and all that. So good luck to Jabal. Oklahoma State wrestling coach John Smith today was elected into the Oklahoma Hall of Fame. He's the first ever wrestler to be elected into the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, so congrats to him. I know Oklahoma State has one of the if not the best wrestling program in all of college, so congrats to him. I know they're solid every single year in wrestling. Uh, and the last thing I want to talk about is a little cool story about this kid named Drew Scott from Edmond, Oklahoma, who during quarantine decided to redo the logo of the Royals. He just drew a drawing of the KC, which you'll see on the screen right there, and just for the fun of it, submitted it online. And one of the Royals players actually responded to him and said, "That's so cool. I can't wait to see you down at a game." And then the Royals actually responded, taking his logo and making it a coloring page that you could print off on their website. So he's got some big hype down here in Oklahoma and up there in Kansas City because he created this 10-year-old kid created this. He's a huge Royal fan, a Chiefs fan. He's said he's going to work on a Chiefs logo next. We'll have to see what happens there. But that's all the major sporting events today. I'm going to jump straight into the review of Holey Moley, which will be short. But if you have not watched the episode, I'd skip this part of the video because it's really, really good. So, how Holey Moley works. There are 8 contestants every week. And so one advance every stage. So 4 out of the first round, and then you had the semifinals and the finals. So it started with this guy who is the king of mini golf, as he called himself. He's relative to the king of Sweden by a long shot, but he has some sort of blood with the first king of England. So he calls himself the king of mini golf. Versus the guy who called him the Count. The reason he's named the Count is because he dressed up as the Count a lot. It was a little weird, but they got to compete in the first hole, which was the fire hole. So basically, they put these 2 guys in completely fireproof suits, and they had to putt a golf ball wall being dosed with flames. And the king of mini golf hit it in after 2 putts, I think, and he ended up advancing on to the second round. In the second pick, you had the teacher, Miss Chris P. Bacon. Yes, that was her actual name, Chris P. Bacon. Was against this. I can't remember his name, but he said he was a great white shark scientist in the zipline hole. So basically, on this one, you had to. It was basically Plinko. They hit it up on this hill, and it dropped through a hole, and you either landed in hazard or in the not in the hazard. And so, whenever a ball fell into, that's where your ball popped out, and then they had to take a zip line across the water and land at the hole. Both of them ended up falling into the water, including the great white shark guy who completely got wiped out, and it was pretty hilarious. Also, Rob Riggle absolutely makes this show. He is the greatest announcer I've ever heard. Uh, I'll tell you a part where later on that it's just amazing. So, in the next round, we had this lady whose nickname was Avocado, but as Rob Riggle called her, Avocado, the entire time. It was hilarious. Was up against the Canadian uh, mini golf cultural person. It was something like that's what she does in Canada is that she teaches people how to play mini golf when they move to Canada in a log roll. So they had to putt across the green and then run across a log that was spinning without falling. They both made it, and Avocado advanced to the second round. And in the last first round matchup, you had cheerleader Matt beat Tana Smiley, the talk show host, in the shark one. On this one, you putted to see who was closer to an X, and then this pirate came out and chipped your ball over to the hole, and whoever was closest to the X got to chip without the blindfold, and then the person who was farthest had to chip while being blindfolded, and then they had to jump across a shark that was in the water and make it back over to the hole. Cheerleader Matt made it first try. Smiley fell into the water. She didn't even jump. It was really, really dumb. But she fell into the water. Cheerleader Matt ended up advancing after he hit his putt in. So in the second round, you had Miss Crispy Bacon playing Avocado in the windmill one, which you hit the ball under the windmills and then you had to run through the windmills, kind of like a wipeout course as the blades were going. And Miss Crispy Bacon went first. She got hit into the water by the first windmill. Second one, she made it through, so she was on her second stroke. While Avocado refused to go through the first one, she jumped off. She said that she was scared of water and she just jumped into the water because she thought it was gonna hurt after like legit 5 minutes. And Rob Riggle even went and got a sandwich in between it because it took so long. And then she made it through the second one, but Miss Crispy Bacon hit her putt in to win the hole. It advanced to the final, and then the king of mini golf was facing cheerleader Matt in the porta potty course, which this one it was a line of porta potties, and you had to hit your ball past them and then run past it as people in the porta potties would open the door and try to knock you into the water. They both got knocked into the water, but cheerleader Matt hit his golf ball into the water too. So the king of mini golf advanced because his stroke play, and in the final, Miss Crispy Bacon faced the king of mini golf in a course that if you missed your shot, you got electrocuted. And the king of mini golf hit his in after 2 putts to advance to the final of season 2, which will be played in a couple weeks. So congrats to him. But again, very entertaining episode. Really enjoyed it. If you haven't checked it out, please go. But that's it for me today. Please like and subscribe. Follow Slurp Them Doodles. He's been helping me out a lot. I know I didn't give him a shout out for the last couple days, but I wanted to say thank you on that, man. Appreciate the intro. And take care. God bless. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.